Welcome to Story Explained. Today we will be looking at a sci-fi movie called A Boy and His Dog based on a story by acclaimed sci-fi writer Harlan Ellison. Before we begin, please consider subscribing to our channel, liking the video and hitting the notification bell. The movie opens up showing the fiery blast of World War IV, which lasted for 5 days. It is 2024 AD. A voice gives directions about a woman screaming, and the boy Vic moves forward in the desert wasteland. He knocks out a bandit. He watches as other bandits leave a crater. As bandits go away, Vic's dog Blood, using his telepathic Sig voice, wonders how he's managed to keep Vic alive for so long despite his impulsiveness. Vic charges forward despite Blood's warning. He goes forward hoping to find a living woman because Vic is incredibly horny all the time. Vic wanders into the bunker only to find the woman brutalized and dying. Vic is still horny and angry and demands Blood to find another woman he can have sex with. Blood asks him to look for food to keep them both alive. Vic hears some noise of a wandering group as they chase someone down and beat them to death. Blood tells him there are no women he can smell within the area. As they walk off, Blood tells him a dirty limerick as the title card plays. Blood recounts the events of world history as they wander the apocalyptic wasteland, telling him about World War III and World War IV. After World War IV, all that's left is a destroyed wasteland, and Vic is born in 2006 into the destroyed wasteland of the New World. Blood tries to educate Vic, teaching him about the different US presidents as they continue to wander looking for food. Blood asks Vic about finding the garden over the hill where there might be new life starting to spring up, so they can return back to civilization and find farmable land. Vic says find him a girl to get laid, then they'll go find the garden over the hill. Blood says he's hungry and he can't find women unless he's fed. Vic calls bullshit on Blood losing the ability to hunt for food in order to gain his telepathy. No food, no females, says Blood. Vic complains about it being 6 weeks since the last time he was laid. A gang of ruffians rides across the wasteland pulling a massive car chariot. The gang leader instructs them to start digging in a hole. Vic wonders why people hang around people like him. Blood looks at the food that the bandit captain has hungrily. Vic charges in to steal the food and runs away. He shoots the bandits as he flees and runs away with the food. Vic and Blood sit and relax in the sunset after enjoying the food. They say they can hit the turf and go enjoy a movie. They turn in their weapons into a vendor and then use their canned goods to buy their way seeing a movie at the post-apocalyptic movie theater. Blood asks him to buy him popcorn, but Vic refuses, saying they can live without it. They sit down and watch an old stag movie in the apocalypse. Blood uses his dog whining and sad eyes to try and get popcorn but fails. Blood tells him that he can detect a woman somewhere in the movie theater. Chaos begins to break out in the movie theater as people fight. Vic pleads with Blood to find him. The woman Blood tells Vic what she looks like, and Vic pats him as he tries to find her. Vic gives Blood some popcorn to bribe him to track her down after she leaves when the movie finishes. Vic and Blood track her down, but Vic is afraid of the screamers, but Blood tells him she's alone. Vic goes into the underground bunker. Vic goes to track her down. He finds her alone, nude, singing to herself in a locker room. Vic creepily lusts after her as she gets dressed. Vic charges in and points his gun at her and threatens to shoot her leg if she runs away as he goes to get a mattress. The woman asks him for his name and for his parents' names. Vic threatens her and demands her to undress. Vic asks her what her name is and she says Quiller June Holmes. Blood comes in and tells him there are raiders coming with over 25 of them. Blood tells Vic to give them the girl so they can get away. Quiller tries to get Blood's attention, but he snaps at her. The bandits make camp above and make their way into the underground warehouse. Vic shoots at one and a firefight begins as the bandits storm the underground warehouse. Blood does his part and attacks one of the bandits. Blood, after killing him, drags his gun back because he is a good boy. Vic asks Blood what the good and the bad of their situation is. Blood tells Vic they are surrounded and the bandits came in through ways he didn't anticipate, but they can now focus on Quiller and she can be a distraction so they can escape. Vic says he's not losing her to the bandits. Blood fights another dog and suddenly screaming mutants start yelling, causing the bandits to flee. Vic saves Blood from the aggressive dog. A green light pulses through and Blood and Vic run deeper to hide in the warehouse. They find a room behind the boiler and hide with Quiller. Quiller begins to kiss Vic and the two have sex. Vic and Quiller talk about history after their lovemaking. Quiller suggests Vic might like it where she comes from, the Down Under. Then they have sex again while Blood patiently waits on his mattress. Blood hobbles his way out of the boiler room. Quiller thinks Blood doesn't like her, but Vic lies and says he does. She asks how he can talk to him, but Vic can't explain how. Quiller tells him to come with her to the Down Under and wants her to come back with him. Blood tells Vic to come with him. Vic wants to bring her along on their adventures so they can continue to have sex, but Blood is dead against it. They continue to argue back and forth while Vic wants to sell Blood on the idea of bringing her along, but then he walks back to Quiller who hits him with a flashlight. Blood threatens to leave Vic behind, but smells the location of the Down Under and Vic tries to follow her to the Down Under. Blood tries to follow Vic but has trouble with his wounded leg, but tries to convince him not to go, pleading for Vic to stay. Blood begs him not to go, saying it's probably a trap, but Vic is too horny to listen to him. Vic finds an entrance in the desert while Blood says he's scared he won't come back and how he'll miss him. Vic gets the door open with the card left behind by Quiller. Vic says he'll try to come back as fast as he can. Blood says he'll wait for a bit, but then try and find the place over the hill on his own. Vic says for Blood to take care of himself as he goes into the Down Under. Blood says so long as he looks on sadly in the desert. Vic makes his way down into the facility, going deeper and deeper, climbing down some ladders. He finds more and more machinery as he tries to go deeper and deeper into the bunker. Vic enters and finds it's a biome with a self-contained ecosystem and sees a strange graveyard and speaker giving lessons. Then he is grabbed from behind by a mysterious man. Then he is nude, being cleaned off in a bathtub as he's watched by town folks wearing strange white face clown makeup. Several people watch him as he is bathed, smiling creepily as a man takes notes. A marching bank of clown people goes through as people go about their day in the underground. People enjoy a feast filled with fresh fruits. It is a grand parade. This town of Topeka is modeled after the pre-war 1950s America. There are many merry festivities going on. Vic is dressed like a farmer and loves seeing all the girls, but is being dragged past all the celebrations. Vic sees a dog and pets it, but it is taken away. We go to a church where some sort of ceremony is going on. A trial is going on as the committee hands out punishments, sentencing guilty people to something called the farm. Quiller returns home and her father Lou Craddock praises her for her good work. She asks for a role on the ruling committee, but Lou says she can't get one until there is an opening. She is dismissed, then sent off. One of the other committee members says she's going to be trouble. Quiller is furious that she's denied a role on the committee. Her boyfriend Gary warns her that they can't protest too much lest they get sent to the farm. She goes off. The committee looks at the dog that Vic petted. Lou tries to interrogate the dog, but the dog says nothing. They send the dog to the farm. Vic is brought for the committee. They go over his health evaluation and intelligence assessment. Vic is hostile towards the ruling committee. Lou remakes how Vic has been chosen for a special honor. Lou tells Vic because they've been underground, their woman can't get pregnant and they need a new man to help their woman get pregnant from the surface. Vic laughs as he asks if they are asking him to knock up all their women and is ready to get to work, but they begin to laugh at him. We see a scene of marriage with a woman in a bridal dress, and that Vic is on a table tied down as his sperm is being extracted. There are dozens of other women all wearing bridal gowns as they come in to get semen for impregation. Quiller comes in with a bridal dress and she knocks the scientist and priest down and lets Vic out of his prison. They argue about her betraying Vic. Quiller tries to convince Vic to help her take over Topeka by killing the committee. Quiller gives Vic instructions and he runs his way out, hitting everything as he rages against the machine. Vic wants to go find Blood as Quiller pleads for him to stay. She tells him she brought him down not so they could use him, but rather so she could use him. Vic knocks her over and goes off as Quiller begs her not to leave him. They hide as they see people looking for them. She tries to get him to shoot the committee and tells him to do it as they come and begin a meeting on the grass. The committee decrees that Quiller June should go into the farm. They also sent Gary to the farm. Quiller then offers to show Vic how to get out. One of the androids grabs a guilty victim and crushes him, then walks off. He then kills Gary, breaking his neck. He comes towards Quiller, then Vic starts shooting him. Vic's gunshots are ineffective and he and Quiller run off. They run off as the robot chases them into the night. Vic switches to a revolver, but it isn't effective until he hits the knee, then the head, and blows up the android. The committee is unfazed, asking for another Michael unit to be brought out of storage. Vic and Quiller run away from the biodome and go back out to the surface. Vic wants to know where Blood is. He hears Blood's telepathic voice, but he sounds weak. He sees Blood, who looks like his in awful shape, lying down on the ground. Blood remarks on his new outfit. Vic wants to get Blood to something to eat. Blood says the nearest town has been taken by bandits and they can't get food. Vic offers to go find the place over the hill with him. Blood tells him to go without him. Vic says Quiller they need food and medicine for Blood, and Quiller says there's nothing they can do for him now. Quiller tries to get Vic to go off without Blood, saying she loves him, goading him that if he loves her he'll leave behind Blood. The screen fades out and there is a roaring fire with some meat roasting. Vic has killed and cooked Quiller and brought Blood back to life by feeding her to him. Blood is in good spirits as they head off to go forward into the horizon. Blood says she had good judgment even if she didn't have good taste, and they both laugh as they move on looking for the promised land of over the hill.